Thompson running the floor, and a foul. And Thompson grabs his left knee, now writhing in pain. Steph Curry slamming the ball on the court, so upset.
Injuries in the NBA are as common as breaking records and winning championships. But some horrible injuries not only broke the viewership record, they also made basketball fans upset to their stomach watching them live. This injury pattern in elite athletes and young players continues to evolve over a long period, and it's ended many seasons and even derailed careers. In today's video, let's have a look at some NBA players we wish had never suffered such gruesome injuries in their careers. Jorge Garbajosa, a promising player out of Europe, famously known as the Garbage Man, joined the Raptors when the franchise needed him the most. During his stint in the NBA, he was named to the All-Rookie First Team in 2007. He was a top-end European League talent with an immense fan following, and he was the prominent piece of the puzzle for Toronto, and that's why he was signed by the Raptors to a 3-year, $12 million contract in the summer of 2006. He started his career with a bang, winning the Rookie of the Month award in December, and made NBA All-Rookie First Team by scoring 8.5 points and 4.5 rebounds per game. He proved himself to be the best seed and offered a watershed season to the franchise. He suffered a gruesome leg injury on March 26, 2007, while playing against the Celtics. He tried to block a dunk by Al Jefferson and landed in an awkward manner on his left foot, which broke his fibula, a leg bone, dislocated his ankle, and tore multiple ligaments. He began screaming in pain after the injury, which ultimately ended his NBA career. Jay Williams' historic bike injury is one of those terrible incidents that we wish had never happened. He won his fans' expectations at an early stage of his career, and he was surely going to be the next big thing when he got selected by the Chicago Bulls with the 2nd overall pick in the 2002 NBA Draft. A National Player of the Year from Duke, he was destined to be the next Bulls superstar. But after just 2 months of his first season in the NBA, he nearly died in a horrible motorcycle crash that left his fans and admirers in shock and pain. After so many years, we still feel the pain he went through when his sparkling career ended prematurely. In June 2003, he was riding his red and black Yamaha R6, a sport bike, and as usual, he revved the engine. Unfortunately and unexpectedly, the motorcycle surged forward, shooting like a bullet from a gun, and the front wheel lifted off the ground for an accidental wheelie. He wasn't wearing a helmet. He tried to grip the handlebars, but he lost control and clipped the pool with the left side of his body, which sent him spinning like a ball over and over again. He severed a main nerve in his leg and suffered an injury in his left knee with a fractured pelvis bone. It took him more than 10 surgeries and 2 years to recover from that terrifying incident. What made his fans and teammates more sad was this incident affected his career negatively, which left the fans to wonder what he could have achieved if it weren't for that horrible accident. Gordon Hayward's scary and historic leg injury was so hard to watch that we still can't stomach that pain. This horrible injury made us not want to play basketball ever again. Gordon Hayward is a very popular and talented American basketball player. He got selected in the 2010 NBA Draft with the 9th overall pick. His leg injury made headlines and sent a wave of shock among his fans. During the 2017 NBA regular season, he was playing with the Boston Celtics against the Cleveland Cavaliers. This incident took place in the first quarter when Hayward went towards the basket and jumped to catch a lob pass, but he landed awkwardly on the left side of his body, which instantly turned his ankle to a horrible angle. This terrible injury brought not only his fans, but also Cavs supporters sitting on the team's bench out of their seats. Celtics players gathered around him in solidarity, and the Cleveland crowd gave him a roaring ovation as he left the court. He was placed in an air cast and taken off the court in a stretcher in obvious pain. The medical team instantly came to examine his dislocated ankle and fractured tibia. He suffered a severe broken ankle just over 5 minutes into his first game as a Celtic, and the entire basketball world took to Twitter to deliver well wishes and prayers for his speedy recovery. Paul George, Sean Livingston, and other popular names of basketball were seen praying and wishing him health during that tough time. Yet some people took advantage of his gruesome injury by criticizing his off-season decision to leave the Utah Jazz and join the Celtics. A basketball guru, Sean Livingston, suffered a gruesome knee injury during a game which we wish we'd never seen. A terrible injury that still sends chills down our spines when watching was so painful that it made the opposing team's players cry in pain. He got selected with the number 4 pick overall in the 2004 NBA Draft. During a match between the Los Angeles Clippers and Charlotte Bobcats in 2007, he suffered what is often regarded as one of the ugliest injuries in NBA history. The 6'7" slender point guard came down drastically after a missed layup attempt and snapped his leg in half. The arena court gasped when he yelled suddenly in pain and writhed on the floor. Suddenly, a prominent career was in jeopardy before it even began. This injury involved a dislocated knee, torn ACL, MCL, and PCL, and a broken and dislocated patella, and it was possibly the worst injury in NBA history. Next up for him was a missed season of rehabilitation, stints with 9 NBA teams and 1 D-League squad, and being waived 4 times, before triumphing as a crucial member for the 2015 Warriors team. Many people were inspired by his story and expressed their gratitude as motivation following the physical tragedy. His fans had mad respect for him for all the hardships he came across due to that injury and recovering from them and returning to play basketball at such a high level. Talking about the NBA's worst injuries and not mentioning Dwayne Wade's shoulder injury wouldn't be fair at all. A former American professional basketball player who spent 16 years playing for the Miami Heat in the NBA, with 3 NBA championships under his belt and numerous other accolades, and a good friend of LeBron James, Heat guard Dwayne Wade suffered a scary injury in the 4th quarter of a Wednesday night 112-102 loss at Houston in February. Wade was in defensive mode when he accidentally collided with Houston's player Shane Battier and immediately stretched back in an awkward manner. Wade left the court in extreme pain and in tears while his arm got examined. He then went to the hospital in a wheelchair where his dislocated left shoulder got examined. This injury took him out for a big chunk of the 2007 season, since he had to go through a surgery after the end of the season. During the 2008 matches, the Miami Heat were struggling again due to its best guard Wade's knee injury, and Wade had shockwave treatment done on his left knee that kept him out for the remainder of the season. Chris Paul, a popular and acclaimed guru of the basketball world, is one of the best point guards in the history of the game. Paul is a 9-time All-Star, an 8-time All-NBA nominee, and 9-time All-NBA Defensive Team nominee. He's also one of the most injury-prone players in NBA history. Though injuries happen all the time in sports, the most severe and worst knee injuries seem to happen in the career of Chris Paul. Paul, who joined the Rockets via trade after spending 6 seasons with the Clippers, missed Houston's 2nd game of the season on a Wednesday night when his knee collided with Mario Chalmers on October 11th. It caused severe swelling and was terrible enough to stop him from playing 3 quarters in Houston's opening night win over the Memphis Grizzlies. Knee injuries happened back-to-back in the career of this star, which potentially affected his future career in the NBA. A healthy knee is possibly the most important in the physical health of an athlete, but it's tough to say what constitutes bad luck for the player because he's one of those plenty of NBA stars who got most leg injuries. The superstar got his ankle injured and swollen back-to-back in the 2018 NBA playoffs, and he even injured his knee in 2020 as well, but his injuries have not affected his career or his performance to date. History repeated itself for LeBron James during the 2018-2019 NBA season. The 16-time All-Star has never missed more than 15 games in a season throughout his 16-year historic career. During the 2014-2015 season, he missed his career-high 13 games when he was sidelined with a severe back injury. Then, on Christmas Day during the 2018-2019 season, he ended up missing 11 games when against the Golden State Warriors, he suffered a torn left groin, the first major injury of his career, and it derailed both his and his team's season. The Los Angeles Lakers star was ruled out for quite a few games due to his sore groin. The Lakers were clearly worse off without him in that season, and to add to his bad luck, he went through a similar injury in a recent season as a result of his collision with Patrick Beverley in the 1st quarter of the Lakers' 111-106 loss on a Wednesday night game. This injury was on the right side of his groin and far less severe than the previous one on the left groin, but it could have worsened the situation if he kept playing for the Lakers. Though at first it seemed like a minor injury, it took him out of games for a long period during the 2018-2019 season, as groin injuries are the trickiest and most nagging in sports. Additionally, James was coming off both the groin discomfort and a thoracic muscle strain, a pull in the ribcage area, which made him miss a game against the Denver Nuggets, and the Lakers ended up losing that game. James told the media that if I'm feeling well, I'll be in the lineup. But that historical Christmas gift to his career derailed the rest of the season, and James finished the game with 23 points, 10 assists, and 9 rebounds. Remember to comment which player you wish never suffered such a horrific injury, as this will increase your chances of winning free prizes, because who doesn't love free stuff? Make sure to check out the first link in the description, and keep watching our videos because they're amazing and you'll love them.